In this video, we will delve into the events that took place in Ujaras, Costa Rica in 2020. Alison Bonilla, 18, was taking the bus home when she saw two men following her. She texted her mum and boyfriend to say she was scared and would run home as soon as she got off the bus. It was a shame that Alison never came back home that day. It took 6 months to find her. Alan Pamela Bonilla Vasquez was born in Cartago, Costa Rica on November 7, 2001. Alison lived with her mother, Yendri Vasquez, because she was the only child in the family. But Yendri wasn't the only one who helped raise Alison. Yendri often got help from Alison's grandparents, Ramon and Marjorie, and her aunt Zamara. Yendri says that Alison's father left them right after she was born. There was another woman in his life who was pregnant at the time. He left his wife and daughter to be with her because he didn't want to be a part of her life. Yendri said he asked to meet his daughter just one time. At the time, he had lung cancer, and that was the only reason she let him meet Alison. It is important to note that his second family didn't know about Alison until almost the whole country learned that she had disappeared. Alison and her mum were very close. She thought of Yendri as both her mum and dad. It might seem odd, but every Father's Day, she gave her mum a gift. Their relationship was much stronger than that of a mother and daughter. They did everything together because they were best friends. Alison didn't have to worry about being judged or misunderstood when she talked to Yendri about anything. Alison came from a big family. She didn't have a father, but she didn't feel alone or abandoned. She loved going to church every Sunday and being with her family. Alison's family said she was a very nice, outgoing and friendly girl. Picture after picture, she looked happy. Not a single trace of sadness or longing could be seen in her eyes. Every day, Alison thought about how she could work as a model. She dropped out of 8th grade to take extra classes because it seemed too hard to go to school and do extra classes at the same time. She didn't want to waste time on school that wouldn't help her get where she wanted to go. She quickly looked for a job to help her mum pay the bills. She would leave her resume at different places, but no one would call her back. Yendri saw that her daughter was very sad about this because she knew Alison couldn't get a job because she wasn't finished school. Yendri told her she should go to school at night. Therefore, at 18, Alison enrolled in a school, Liceo Enrique Guillén Céspedes, located a few miles from her home. She started making cakes while she was still in school and got an IFATE certificate for finishing pastry courses. I loved Alison's cakes and other sweets that she made. Her cakes made people in the neighborhood happy, so she was able to make some money that way. Harold Sequeira Solano, who lived in Cachi, was Alison's boyfriend. The district of Cachi is in the canton of Paraíso, which is in the province of Cartago in Costa Rica. Alison spent most of the day with her mum at home, in the morning. After that, she was going to see Harold and then go to school at 6 p.m. So, she always got home very late, and most of the time, it was by bus. There was a very dangerous area on the way from the bus stop to her house. Because it was a road with lots of plants and almost no light or people, Alison always let her mum know when she changed where she was. Her mum would sometimes meet her at a bus stop or a bridge in the middle of the trip. Alison went to her mum's salon on March 4, 2020 to get her nails done and talk with her. After that, she went to see her friend Pia, who went to the same school as her. Following a short visit to Pia's house, they all went to school together. When they got there around 6 p.m., they split up because they were in different schools. Alison found out that her classes were cancelled that day after being in an empty classroom for about 15 minutes. She thought that going to see her aunt who lived close to school, would be the best way to spend the rest of the evening. Alison chose to hang out with her boyfriend Harold before going home because her aunt wasn't there. He wasn't home, though. His mother told Alison that he was at work and would be home soon. She invited Alison to stay at the house and wait for him. When Harold got back, the whole family sat down to a big dinner and talked about many things, including plans. After a while, Harold excused himself and said he would be back soon because he had to leave right away. Harold left his house around 8:15 p.m., and Alison didn't wait for him to come back. At this point, things began to happen that soon became known across the whole country. After about 5 minutes, Harold went back home. He texted Alison as soon as he saw that she had left. His offer to take her home on his motorcycle made her wonder where she was. She told them right away that she was already at the bus stop, so they didn't need to worry. She texted her friend Pia while she was waiting for the bus and asked if her cousin could ride his bike home with her. He said no, because his bike was a professional one and wasn't made for two people. It's still not clear why she didn't ask her boyfriend for help. Maybe she was mad at him or didn't want to bother him. That's why Alison took the bus home. At 8:43 p.m., she got off the bus. It was about a mile to her house. Alison felt bad and was scared, so she asked her mum to walk over to her. She texted her boyfriend and mother at 8:45 p.m. to say that two strange men were following her. They got off the bus at the same stop as her, so she ran home to get away from them. It was already clear that Alison was going to run on a very dangerous road. It wasn't very bright, and not many people used it. There was only one camera for watching things. It caught a fuzzy image of what was probably Alison. Alison's mum, Yendri, went to the bridge half a mile from home to meet her daughter, but couldn't find her. She tried to stay calm because she thought Alison might have gone back to the bus stop to be safe, but she couldn't find her there either. Then she thought Alison might not have seen her because she was already home. However, when Yendri got home, the house was empty. Yendri called her daughter's family and friends to see if they knew where Alison was and to ask them to help with the search. Another 30 minutes passed, and Harold woke up to a call from Zamara, Alison's aunt. She told him that Alison wasn't there. He started calling her right away, but it didn't work. Her phone couldn't be reached. After 3 hours, Alison Bonilla was reported missing by her mother to the police. They began to look. Alison had asked for a picture to be taken of her in this outfit, so Yendri knew what her daughter was wearing. This is the last picture of Alison. The police checked everywhere at the start of the investigation, from the bus stop to Alison's house. They also looked at a number of places close to the city, such as Lake Kashi and the same-named hydroelectric dam. The police found the first clue on March 5, 2020. It was Alison's glasses. It was in the grass, a mile from her house, but Alison didn't seem to be there. After 8 more days, they found Alison Bonilla's ID on a coffee farm. They had searched that whole area many times before, so it was strange. Her ID was also in an odd spot that was easy to see, which made me suspicious. It didn't have any dirt on it, like someone put it there on purpose to trick the police or hide some information. Yendri got a call from Alison's father 15 days after she went missing. He said Alison disappeared because she was too pretty, but he didn't offer to help or feel sorry for her. Yendri wasn't ready for such heartless words, so she hung up right away. What she had just heard shocked her. Some time went by, and Alison's family, the police, and volunteers never stopped looking for her. They put up posters with Alison's picture outside every Sunday. They decided to paint messages on the street with Alison's steps, from the edge of the street to the bridge, where they think she got lost. One of the paintings said, "Allison, we're waiting for you." They also put posters on poles next to the road so that people driving by would see them. The police also got a very important lead at the same time. Someone told the police that he knew Allison and had seen her the night she went missing. His story is that he left the house on his motorcycle on March 4th around 8:30 p.m. to pick up someone. Along the way, he saw Allison and a wine-colored two-door BMW pull up next to her. He then said he turned around to see what was going on. He figured out who owned the car. It was his cousin's BMW. It was easy to spot because its headlights were bright yellow. That's why he was sure it was the car of his cousin. A second person also told police that they saw the same BMW that night, near where Allison went missing. It belonged to Nelson Sanchez Ureña, 28, who was said to be a member of a local gang and was known as Sukiya. Nash knew Allison, it turned out. They had known each other's families for a long time. They even lived in the same neighborhood for a while. Later, Allison's mom said that she had only talked to him once. It wasn't a friendly relationship, it was just neighborhood ties. Nelson once asked Allison and her cousins to ride home with him, and she said yes. She wasn't alone because it was daylight, and she thought he was a good person. Nelson sent Allison a Facebook message on March 2nd, 2020, 2 days before she went missing. He wanted her to answer some questions. Allison agreed because her cousin told her to. At that point, Nelson asked Allison how she felt about him. He had a question. Did Allison like him? Alan was confused because she didn't know what that question meant. They were not friends and didn't know much about each other. Nelson told Allison, "I don't think badly of you, but I just wanted to know if you did." Allison told him that she didn't dislike him and that everything was okay between them. He told her goodbye and thanked her. Detectives got a warrant on March 26, 2020 to search the house and take Nelson Sanchez Ureña's car, cell phone, and computer. Some very disturbing things were on his phone. On his phone, there were a lot of pictures of women being abused. The police noticed how clean his car was while they were searching it. It turned out that polishing liquid was used to clean the carpet and seats. Still, the driver's seat front carpet and the trunk carpet were not there. On the trunk lid, the police found hair and blood drops. They sent them to a lab to be analyzed. Following the visual inspection of the car, the police used a service dog to do a test. There were possible signs of blood on the 2 front seats and in the trunk of the car. The luminol test proved it. It's a chemical that acts on blood cells, hemoglobin. People who owned the car tried to clean up the bloodstains that they found in many places inside the car. However, Nelson Sanchez Ureña was free while the detectives waited for the lab results. He was being watched, though. They kept an eye on him to make sure he didn't leave the country or the city. At first, Yendry insisted that the police arrest him, but they didn't have any proof, so he stayed free for a few months. Yendry thought that Allison had been taken by someone who would later ask for money to get her back. She tried not to freak out and stay calm. She wished her daughter was still alive. She didn't clean Allison's room, she didn't make the bed, or put things in order. She also bought her daughter gifts in case she came home. "I will continue to do this, because until I see anything that proves that she is dead, my daughter is alive and will return home," she told the press. Detectives finally got word from the lab on September 2nd, 2020, that the hair and blood they found in Nelson Sanchez Ureña's car belonged to Allison. He was caught by the police the same day. Afterward, Ureña's ex-girlfriend told the police that he had never hurt her physically, but that they were under a lot of moral pressure together. He wouldn't let her talk to her friends or use the internet. She said that he only wanted a close relationship with her. Urania's old boss said he didn't do his work properly and even stole about $11,000 one time. They also talked to his landlord, who said that one of Urania's ex-girlfriends broke up with him because she was tired of paying his bills. She said he was a very spoiled man. It was September 4th when Nelson Sanchez Urania told Alison Bonilla what he had done. He said that the night Alison went missing, he saw her walking alone on an empty road as he drove by. He chose to make the most of the fact that it was late at night. He knew Alison wouldn't be scared to get into his car since she knew him. The woman said yes to his offer of a ride and got into the car. He did not go home, though. Instead, he turned around and drove her to a coffee plantation, where he made her get out of the car. She almost passed out because Nelson hit her so hard that her glasses broke. After, he took her to an empty house nearby and had relations with her against her will. He then beat her very badly. He then took her to the front seat of his car and used cloth and duct tape to tie her hands together. Urania then put her in the trunk of his car and drove to a garbage dump in San Gerardo de Cachi. He threw Alison off a cliff and into a pile of trash there. He said that he did what he did by using too many illegal drugs. He said that they had a lot of power over him. He also said that he was crazy about Alison. According to him, the moment he saw her that night, he knew it was time to live out his fantasies. As is common in these kinds of stories, Nelson Sanchez Urania later changed his mind and said that the police had pushed him to do it. But there was enough proof against him to charge him. He could get up to 35 years in prison. The search team went to the San Gerardo landfill early on September 4th to look for Alison's body. It wasn't easy to find Alison's body, though, because the area was too big and hard to get to. Also, it had been 6 months since she was last seen. Just 25 days after Urania confessed, the police found human bones, including vertebrae, ribs, a femur, and part of the pelvis. They also found pieces of clothing that Alison was wearing on the day she went missing, as well as a sneaker with nails inside it. All of these clues were sent by the police to be looked at. The suspect's lawyer, Jose Francisco Herrera, said that the evidence might have been fake since it was found by rescuers who were not from the police. Herrera also thought it was odd that the police had found dead bodies in the area Urania had described on the same day that his client changed his story and said he wasn't guilty. Rodrigo Araya, the lawyer for the Bonilla family, said that the suspect's changed story was disgraceful and made fun of the police's work. The experts confirmed on October 5, 2020, that the body parts found belonged to Alison Bonilla. Because the search team didn't find all of Alison's body parts, forensic experts couldn't say for sure what killed her. But the expert who looked at her body decided that many of the fractures happened after she died, which suggests she fell from a very high place. The clothes that were found were torn, and the sneakers had bite marks on them, so experts think animals did it. That's why the bodies were found in different areas of the landfill. Alison's mother, Yendri, was very angry that the police had not paid attention to her and had not arrested Urania sooner. He might have told the truth even earlier, and Alison's body might still be whole. The whole family was very sad about it. "I'm in unbearable pain, but she's in a better place where no one can hurt her," Yendri said. The case against Nelson Sanchez Urania began on July 19, 2021. Harold Segura Solano, Alison's boyfriend, was one of the people who testified in the case. In his statement, he said that Alison and his mother were at his house when he got home from work on March 4, 2020, around 6:30 p.m. He left for 5 or 10 minutes at some point. Harold saw that Alison had left without saying goodbye when he got back. Even though she was on her way home, he texted her to stay in touch. She told him that 2 men were following her after she got off the bus. Harold told her she had to take a taxi because of this. She told him twice that she would pay the taxi driver herself, but he refused. She texted him that she was going to run home. After that, she didn't send him any more messages. He said, though, that he only told his mother about what was going on. He didn't call Alison's mother Yendri. He said he didn't do it because the battery in his phone died, and then he fell asleep for 30 minutes. His girlfriend was missing, and Alison's aunt called him to let him know. He said he was scared after that and called Alison's cell phone a few times, but each call went to voicemail. It was also impossible to send WhatsApp messages. Harold said he had been on the search team for a few days, but had to quit because he wasn't feeling well and had to go to work. He certainly did not like how things were. If he could go back in time, he would have taken Alison home that night, but that's not possible. Nelson Sanchez Ureña was given 18 years in prison on August 18, 2021, for killing Alison Bonilla. He could have gotten twice as much time in prison, but the judge said there wasn't enough proof to show that Ureña knew how Alison would get home and when, or that he had planned to attack her. Also, the state of Alison's body parts meant there was no proof that Ureña had forced her to be intimate with him. The story did not end here, though. Alison's family was very upset about the verdict. They thought that this punishment was not fair. A lawyer for the family filed an appeal in 2022. The judge threw out Ureña's sentence and set a new trial date. The judge put Nelson Sanchez Ureña in prison for 35 years on September 28, 2023. The lawyer for Alison's family said that Ureña was crazy, scared, and cruel, and that he took advantage of the victim and her family's trust. The judge said that Ureña's actions were planned ahead of time. Alison had been friends with Ureña for a long time, so he used this to get away with a crime. Because Ureña didn't feel bad about what he did, the criminal court took that into account. The family was hurt and angry, but they were glad with the new verdict because it ended this part of their lives and the nightmare that had been going on for more than 3 years. Alison's family put a cross and flowers where they found her. A picture of her and a statue of the Virgin Mary were put on what looked like a small altar that they made for her. The Alison Bonilla case got a lot of attention in Costa Rican media and on social networks. There were even marches to remember the young woman and other women who had been through similar things, like Maria Luisa Cedeño and Luani Salazar. That's it for this episode. If you're drawn to the mysteries of true crime, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you're always in the loop. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Until next time, stay safe and keep seeking justice.